Alrighty guys, welcome back to some more Danganronpa. It's Tofuru here. If I sound a little under the weather, well, I've been trying to take my medicine to control my sore throat, so don't expect some crazy voice acting today. I will try my best, but please forgive me if I can't. So now we're at Chapter 0, which is basically the prologue to this entire endeavor, which I guess will explain how we got here. It would be wrong to say it was swaying from side to side. It was actually shaking rather intensely. The room I was in, it was shaking from side to side. The shaking was quite irregular, and just when you thought it was a series of small shakes, it would suddenly shake violently. And every time that happened, I'd have to steady myself with my foot. I couldn't stand up very well, but for me, it was comforting. I never thought not knowing what to expect could be so fun, so I was feeling rather excited. But I figured I'd get bored of that feeling soon enough. That's what I was expecting. For me, a person who is loved by talent, detecting regularities among irregularities wouldn't be that difficult. How boring. Do you like ships? On the other side of the dark room, I heard a voice. It was clearly directed at me. Huh, you look like you were having fun, so that's what I assumed. You know what? Hearing that, if that's Hajime's real role may be more confusing than we thought. You do like ships, right? Ships? Ah, that's right. That's it. So this is a ship. You just realized that now? Is it really that funny? Hey, if you want, care to talk a little? The silence is starting to bore me. Instantly, I saw his true character. The overfamiliar attitude, the friendly smile. But underneath that thin skin, I could detect a foul, offensive odor, like some kind of putrid slime. In a sensible way, of course. How should I put this? It was a smell exclusive to those who were already finished. Nice to meet you. I'm Nagito Komieda. Anyway, lucky me. It's been a while since anyone was willing to talk to me, so to share a room with a person like that, yep, I'm definitely lucky. Lucky? Ah, so that's your talent then. What a boring talent. A boring talent, huh? Well, that's exactly what it is. But for someone I'm meeting for the first time to say that so suddenly, that's because I have luck as well. Huh? Even I possess a talent as boring as luck. Possess, huh? I'm starting to get really interested. Who are you? You're obviously from Host Peak Academy too, right? So you're one of us? Ah, but that's weird. This is the first time I've ever seen you. Hey, can you tell me why you're here? How did you end up here? How boring. Oh, sorry. I'm often told I'm terrible at making conversation. Not you. This world. Huh? This world is full of boring people. People who lack talent stick together and oppress those who possess talent. Even though they know they're insignificant, they don't try to acknowledge their true superiors. They are profoundly desperate to drag them down to their level. And because of these bastards, this world has come to a deadlock. This world has stopped evolving. How boring. Well, the world is shaped by the will of the majority. It makes sense that it bends to those who lack talent. That's why we're in our present situation. Ah, perhaps? Does that have anything to do with the reason you're here? Boring people make no contributions to the world. Not even a speck of dust. That's why my teachers taught me that a certain degree of selection must be performed. Looks like they had high expectations for you, huh? That's completely different from me. But what are you planning to do? Now that you've ended up like this, there's nothing you can do, right? Listen well. Using people is a talent too. It is now my turn to use that person just as they used me in the past. That person? Are you talking about ultimate despair? But how? I mean, they're already... I have it with me. The contribution that person left to me. Even now, it rests in my pocket. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm definitely lucky. I can't believe I'm talking to someone as amazing as you. Wait, what? Then, will I be able to see her again? Will I be able to see the person I hate with every fiber of my being again? And this time, will I be able to kill her this time? The person I hate so much? Hate? Then explain your hand. Whoa. This? The end of the bandage is a woman's hand, right? Isn't it amazing? I can't move it, of course. I mean, it's not my hand after all. But even now, it still hasn't rotted. Hey, maybe that means it's becoming one with me. Wait, what? Isn't it amazing? I have succeeded. I've successfully become one with ultimate despair, my sworn enemy. I see. So you salvage the body. You really are a boring person. I don't want you to misunderstand. I just see her as my enemy, you know? Because she's my sworn enemy. Because I hate her so much. That's why I took her power. And for that, Wait, huh? Do I hate her? Huh, that's strange. Huh? Ah, look out the window. We're finally here. You're starting to see it too, right? That's Jabberwock Island, isn't it? Isn't it exciting? I wonder what's going to happen on that island once we get there. What's going to happen? I can already predict what will happen. What's exactly going on? I already know because I'm loved by talent. But no matter what happens, it's no concern to me. I will not be able to participate in what lies ahead. Huh, really? I don't really understand, but I guess we have to part ways for a while. That's disappointing. We seem to get along pretty well. Hey, can I see you again? There's no reason we'll ever meet again. After all, you're boring. Your talent, your thoughts, your entire existence is boring to me. You really don't play along, do you? No, he doesn't. This is fucking weird. Is that Hajime or is that someone else? Alright, scratch that. How the fuck did, Oh, so he was talking to someone. How does Nagito have her hand, but yet that never affected him the entirety of the rest of the story? Where does that relation even connect? Huh? What is this? It's a door. There's a door. Huh? A door? Why is a door here? Where am I? How did I get here? Where am I supposed to go? Well, this got more confusing. Isn't this a classroom? It looks like we're in Hope's Peak Academy. But even so, it's a very strange classroom. Why am I in a place like this? I went inside the ancient ruin with everyone else. And I arrived at a place that looked like a trial ground. But then, why? It's not connecting. I don't know why I'm here. It's like there's no connection between how I left the trial ground and how I entered here. It's just like before. When we were all gathered in that classroom, just before we arrived at Jabberwock Island. But where is this place? Is it somewhere on Jabberwock Island? Okay. An announcement?
Ahem, ahem. Testing, testing. Mic check 1, 2. This is a test of the school broadcast system. Am I on? Can everyone hear me? Okay, well then. Welcome to Hope Speak Academy, you guys. At this point, I shall explain the graduation exam to you all.
Graduation exam?
So please assemble at the gymnasium immediately.
What the fuck? There's a graduation exam? Yeah, huh? Did he say what I think he just said? Yes, he definitely said it. He said, welcome to Hope's Peak Academy. But why would this place be Hope's Peak Academy? And not just that. What is the graduation exam? Isn't the killing already over? I'd agree, but once again, we have no... I guess, can we check the clock and see what time it is? Oh, that's great. So, a clock without any hands. Old school classroom with its bolts on the doors. Let's leave. Now I'm starting to get more confused because there's only so many of us left. Oh my god. Yeah, even the hallway doesn't feel like a school at all. What a creepy place. At least it doesn't look like a normal school at all. It's definitely a lie. There's no way this place is Hope's Peak Academy. Is this creepy place the Hope's Peak Academy that I've admired for so long? It's probably a building that Monokuma made to startle us, just like the funhouse. That's right. That's definitely it. Monokuma said to come to the gymnasium, right? Then I'll go and definitely clear things up. Yep, this is definitely the old building. And everything's blocked. I'm trying to figure out why all these weird signs are up. The eyes here. That's the thing. Data wall there. Yeah, wait, can we open it? No, it's just got a wall on it. Okay. So no doors are accessible. We're locked in here for good. Oh, man, this is like bringing back memories here. I remember this so well. You know, from Danganronpa 1, the old school building was just intense. So it just leveled up. Alright, then. I don't know, take a water, random chibi me. I don't know how you got to that lifestyle, but there you go. Alright, well, the gymnasium's right here. The gymnasium is here, right? Alright, I'm going inside. Something might be waiting, but I'm not going to cower away anymore. I mean, it's no point. Yeah, and so, I brace myself and cautiously open the door. But these weird glitches going on are very concerning. I can't tell if it's Hajime freaking out, or he's a robot, or, you know... Oh, this is the end. Goodbye, Academy of Despair. Chapter 6. Alright, that's kind of cool. So, Chapter 0 was meant to reveal something to us before Chapter 6 began. But, well, I guess it gave us insight. Nagito had a different hand on him, which makes me question whether it was Nagito there, or the ultimate traitor, or the ultimate, disguiser, the one that we were looking for the entire time, who didn't know their true, they never had a real identity, so they kept changing identities. I think. He was Bikuya when we were on the island, but, I wasn't prepared for what was waiting for me on the other side of the door. Is everybody else here? Okay, well, it was a normal gymnasium. Okay, everyone is here.
Damn right.
Yo, Hajime.
Yo.
You heard the announcement. It came here too. You guys did too, right?
What's going on?
Hey, what can you make out of all this? Monokuma said this place was Hope's Peak Academy or something. That cannot be possible.
Well, yeah.
You're right. Any way you look at it, it's impossible. You know, I wouldn't put it past Monokuma to replicate the entire Hope's Peak Academy and just have it here, but I also think this is the real one, at least from the Killing game. It would make sense that they like evacuated the talent kids to this remote island for some reason. But hello, how does it feel to return to the long-awaited Hope's Peak Academy?
Why, you.
Hey, where are we? Where'd you lock us up this time?
That's...
What a shock! I just told you guys, this is Hope's Peak Academy.
Of course not.
There's no way in hell that's true.
No.
Oh, but it is. I mean, this is definitely Hope's Peak Academy. Well, what's left of it anyway? What's left of it?
What?
Didn't I tell you before? Unfortunately, Hope's Peak Academy fell to ruin.
Lies.
You are serious about that?
Stupid fool.
But of course it fell to ruin. I mean, they were doing things they deserved to be ruined for. What do you mean?
I don't like this.
Anyway, I'm pretty disappointed. I went to all this trouble to bring you to Hope's Peak Academy, and you don't feel surprised or nostalgic.
Fine.
Oh well, it's not like I did this for you guys. Ha, nice wink to me there, Monokuma. Even if you don't feel nostalgic, I'm sure someone is feeling nostalgic right now. Someone?
Don't fuck with me.
Enough with this bullshit. Just spit it out already. Where'd you take us? You bastard. Though I am not certain of my memories, I believe we entered the ancient ruin and...
In other words...
It means I made this Hope's Peak Academy between the door to the ruin and the inside of the ruin. You. What do you mean, between?
Hey.
What do you mean, made?
What's this?
Oh my! Are your minds getting the grumblies that only knowledge can satisfy? Good. Very good. It's fine to hurry along with the graduation exam, but it's in my nature to provide a little entertainment. Entertainment? You're planning to make us do something, aren't you?
No way!
It's nothing to be cautious about. It's not like you'd be making life exchanges or anything like that.
Shing!
It's just a simple graduation exam.
Huh?
Then, what is the graduation exam?
Hey,
Well, as headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know. On one hand, I'm really happy that you're going to graduate.
Are you sure about
But on
this?
the other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world.
So...
That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here. What?
Why?
We're obviously gonna get out. There's no way we'd stay here. No, but if these shows is like the apocalypse, some people might question it.
That's right.
This is annoying. Just hurry up and let us choose. Let us choose right now.
No.
You can't do that. The main cast hasn't arrived yet. Main cast?
Hey,
Meaning you guys are just extras until the guest of honor arrives.
damn it!
So enough complaining already. Hurry up and start researching the outside world. What do you mean?
Uh-huh.
I have dispersed all teaching materials you need for your research throughout Hope's Peak Academy. Well, I don't think this needs to be said, but all the information is accurate and contains no lies whatsoever. Otherwise, the main cast is gonna hate me. So, please rest assured and strive to do your best during your field trip. And as usual, after leaving us with his cryptic words, Monokuma disappeared. Even if the setting had changed, even if the killing was finished, he was still the same as usual. What is going on? Outside world, main cast. Somehow I have a bad feeling about this.
Hey.
Like he kept insisting that this place is Hope's Peak Academy. But that's impossible, right?
What are you saying?
How do we make it back in the Hope Peak Academy from the tropical island in the first place? It's impossible.
It cannot be.
There is no place for Hope Peak Academy to exist on Jabberwock Island. I said I wanted to go back, but I don't want to go back to a creepy place like this. What does this mean? So many things I don't understand have happened on the island. This building, is it really Hope Peak Academy? Yeah, as far as I understood, it was always a building in a town. Why is it on an island? This is the Hope Peak Academy that I've been admiring for so long? What in the world's going on? Damn it. Why is this happening? Why? I was finally able to attend Hope Peak Academy. I finally thought I'd become confident in myself. Even so, I wanted to become Hope. If that's what you're thinking, just stop it. Listen carefully. The only humans worthy of becoming Hope possess amazing talents and a strong will. And the moment you're born into this world, you either have it or you don't. It has nothing to do with effort. You must be chosen by Hope to become Hope. That's why it's not even worth admiring. Or were you so blinded by your admiration for Hope Peak Academy that you couldn't even see that? You're just some nobody from the reserve course who never had a talent to begin with. A nobody who forgot he was a nobody. That's all. If I really am a nobody, then you should have just left me alone. Why do I have to go through something like this? Hajime, did something happen?
Hey, bastard.
Now's not the time to zone out. Sorry, it was nothing. I don't really get it, but is that all?
I'm gonna do it!
As long as I don't beat the crap out of Monokuma, nothing's gonna be solved. Is that what it means?
Hey.
Just what the heck is Monokuma anyway? He's not part of the Future Foundation, right? If you say that, then what is the Future Foundation?
Jeez.
Even though Chiaki and Monami are gone, our situation hasn't changed one bit, which means the Future Foundation wasn't our enemy, and that's the only thing I can think of.
You serious?
So they're not World Ender? Then we've really been tricked by Monokuma?
However,
The Future Foundation is responsible for trapping us on this island, right? Regarding that matter, I believe Monami never denied that.
damn it.
Even if there are allies, they might not just be allies. Maybe Monokuma is telling us to investigate that information on our own. Chiaki said she could not betray the Future Foundation. But if she were still alive, she definitely would have helped us. No, even her just being with us would have been a big help. So what should we do?
Damn it.
Well, that's obvious. If we're gonna get out of here safely, we'll have to do that graduation exam, right?
So annoying.
Graduation exam, huh? I'm not really good at exams, is what she was gonna say. But, well, I guess it's better than people dying.
Jeez.
Monokuma said something about a field trip, right? Is he telling us to investigate like we have been?
All right.
I'm gonna do it.
Prepare yourself.
Like,
Yeah, we might be able to learn about something about Hope Peak Academy and about ourselves. I don't care if we don't know anymore. If we can just go back to our normal lives, I'm fine.
hey!
We can go home when this is over, right? We can finally get off this damn island. If that was the case, then let's all leave this island alive by any means.
Of course.
Hell yes! Alright, he's right. Now's not the time to bemoan how unlucky I am. Where this place really is, what's happened to Hope Peak Academy? None of that matters. What's important is, I need to leave this island with the others. We sacrificed so many lives in order to survive, just so we could do that. There's no way we can stop now. But Monokuma should already know that's what we're thinking. So why did he say that? We have to decide on our own whether or not we want to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here. He should already know that we'd never choose to stay on this island.
Hey, hey!
So, what are we gonna do? Can we start already? But what are we looking for? Do we just have to investigate this weird-ass building?
Even so.
I don't think we'd find the answers to all the questions inside this damn building. I'll just go ahead for now.
Whoa!
Hey, you already going?
Jeez.
What is that idiot thinking, running around without being cautious?
Man.
She obviously isn't thinking about anything.
However,
It will be fine. There will no longer be any situations where we must exchange each other's lives.
alright!
So we should do our best as well. Like they say, it is not scary if everyone stops at a green light. If we stopped at the green light, we'd never reach our goal. I agree there.
Jeez.
Akane
you're
already
pathetic.
took off on her own. It might be fast if we split up and look around too.
Huh.
Like Sonia said, if there's no more killing, we don't have to worry about anyone betraying us anymore. Then, let's get this over with and go home.
Later.
I'll go on ahead. I'll see you guys later. And with those brief words, Fuyuhiko left the gymnasium.
Excuse me.
I shall do my best to obtain a wonderful clue that will be useful to everyone. Now then, please excuse me. Sonia took a deep bow and then left the gymnasium.
Oh my.
Miss Sonia,
Miss Sonia!
please don't leave me. I'll be in danger if I'm left alone. Kazuichi chased after Sonia, who had just departed, and left the gymnasium. I should hurry and start too. Just a bit more. Just a bit more and it's going to end. I can escape this nightmare and return to my usual peaceful everyday life. The only thing we can do is help advance toward that hope. Even though I don't understand and that a lot of horrifying things keep happening. For the sake of everyone who couldn't make it this far, I'm definitely going to go home. Huh, so we're in investigation mode right now. Hey, that's a Monokuma doll.
I knew you could do it.
I didn't think there was going to be a Cyber Kuma. That's interesting. Alright, we'll keep that in mind, I guess, going forward. Where the fuck did we just end up? Why are we on the 5th floor? Huh? That's weird. This hallway I walked through to get to the gymnasium, but it's clearly different. This is Monokuma's doing, too. Is he trying to confuse us again? I don't know what he's doing, or how he's doing it, but he keeps doing it over and over again. He's so persistent. But I'm not going to fall for his trap. There's no way this will make me back down. Yeah, this is very fucking weird. Sonia, you're here, but I don't need to talk to you about anything. See, if I was... The thing is, there's got to be multiple clues. The dojo has a clue. The only other place I could think that has a clue, if it's on this floor, is here. But this is all blocked. Okay. So that's important to note. So it might be one clue per floor, and that proceeds us to the next floor. But alright, the dojo. Whew. I'm trying to figure out what's in store for us and what clues we're even gonna find. What the hell is this? This is a dojo. It is full of strange things that make me think there's no way we're inside a school. Perhaps it's a mistake to expect the inside of this building to make sense. You know, I felt the same way when I first saw this building, because none of it makes any goddamn sense. Alright, I'm assuming the only thing that's important is the book. Huh? What is this? Oh my god, they made an anime book? Manga for Morons, A History of Hope's Peak Academy. What is this manga? The title is Manga for Morons, A History of Hope's Peak Academy by Monokuma. Why is a manga with such a suspicious looking title laying out in the open like this? Let's start with history first, class!
Hey,
Reading manga is the third best way to learn about history. Then what's the first, you ask? That depends on the person. Alright, I guess. Interesting joke. So just as I thought, Monokuma made this, and that totally explains how suspicious it looks. I really want to just ignore it, but there's no way I can do that. Fine, I'll look at it. I'll look at anything that might be a clue to getting out of here, no matter what it is. Huh. I picked up the manga off the floor and started flipping through the pages. It's an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy's history, as narrated by a cutesy cover, or by the cutesy Kakukakusha. It's an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy's history, as narrated by the cutesy character on the cover. The story begins with an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy is a government-funded school of privilege where only the most talented high school students can hope to attend. Built to raise hope in the nation's future, many of its alumni are key leaders of various industries. New students are chosen through a scouting process, but the ones who scout them are Hope's Peak Academy's teachers, who serve as both educators and researchers of talent. Hope's Peak Academy isn't just a school for talent, it is also a school for researching talent as well. However, for the past few years, Hope's Peak Academy has been suffering from a decline in funding. If this persists, the Academy believes they will not be able to make progress with their research of talent. So they decided to implement a new system, the Reserve Department. Okay, so unlike the main department who scouts for students, the Reserve Department utilizes a general entrance exam. So this is how Hajime got into the school. Apparently they made a Reserve Department that was just always there, and they used that to generate funds through general student body being accumulated in the Reserve Department, while they were using the funds they got from that to almost keep their main department running. Normal faculty was hired and placed in charge of looking after the Reserve Department. The expenses and exam fees for the Reserve Department are quite high compared to most high schools. Nevertheless, Hope's Peak Academy received an endless stream of applicants. Well, yeah, when it's so prestigious, people are going to apply to it like crazy, and effectively, it basically funds itself. Hope's Peak Academy was now available to talentless commoners, people who only cared about the brand. See, this is the stuff I wish was in the first game. There was really very minuscule lore, and I bet you if I looked for it, I could find some, but it just felt so weird. There was nothing about the school, and here we go, now we're getting all the information. But with this, Hope's Peak Academy managed to amass sizable funds and began further research of talent. To create Hope's Peak Academy's earnest wish, a true genius who could become mankind's hope. But just when they thought everything was going well, an unprecedented incident occurred. And this is like what, the most horrible thing that could ever happen in the entire world today, I think? Yeah, there we go. The incident that triggered the tragedy. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Yep, that was what I remembered. That's right, it was the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy was crippled by this incident and was forced to shut down without accomplishing anything. The end. I'm pretty sure this is the murder that occurred in the classroom. Something happened, this divide occurred, and they realized they had to protect people. I think it was either that or it was the world started going into anarchy mode, and that's when they protected students. The ending was so sudden, like a manga that suddenly canceled in the middle of its run. Plus, these phrases mentioned at the end of this manga, the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. These names are so melodramatic. There's no way these incidents really happened, right? This manga only mentions the names, so I don't really know the details, but no, it'd just be a waste of time to wonder about these things that don't make sense. More importantly, I learned something because of this manga. The Reserve Department. That department was only built to collect money. I was one of those Reserve Corps students, right?
But hold on.
That's weird. Oh, you're here again?
Ah, the thing that's weird is you, of course.
Huh?
Hey!
Why did you forget you were part of the Reserve Department? The Future Foundation only took away your school life memories, right? But you should have known even before you entered that you had no talent, right? So I think it's weird that you actually forgot something like that, too.
What do you want me to say?
By the way...
Based on my assumption, The Future Foundation must have wanted to hide the fact that you are one of the Reserve Corps students.
I got it!
Or you're willing to steal those memories yourself.
Huh?
You wanted to be confident in yourself, so you forgot everything that embarrassed you. You want to know when humans experience trauma. Oh, you know! When humans experience trauma, sometimes they erase their memory of what happened.
Yeah, they can do that.
It happens pretty often. Not that I know anything about it, though.
Yeah, well, you're a bear that never forgets. Are you saying it's my fault I forgot? That's not it.
Come on!
When things get inconvenient, you always get angry and try to brush it off. Well, that's expected of that's expected of a Reserve Corps student.
Alright, Monokuma. Damn it. What the heck? Reserve Department has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. Alright, well, this is getting interesting. So we got that information. There's nothing else here. I'm assuming that the only information that matters is only in relation to the history or lore we find on the floor. Okay, so a new classroom just opened up. Why are you here, Kazuichi?
What's going on?
Yeah, it's kind of creepy. I can't go to places that I should be able to go to. It's like some rule is being enforced for no reason. It's like there's an invisible wall or something. Wait, they can't see it? I see these barriers. See, that's actually more concerning. That they can't see these things? Alright, so there's the next volume. Alright, so here's a detective manga for that. This is another manga. It's laying on top of the desk. This one is Manga for Morons, The Tragedy of Host Peak Academy. Huh. Wasn't the tragedy of Host Peak Academy mentioned in that other manga too? It's why Host Peak Academy went bankrupt, and it was the trigger for the biggest, most tragic, most awful event in human history. Oh god, it's been so long since I've had to hear that statement over and over and over again. If I read this manga, will I be able to learn a little bit more about that incident? But now I get it. He's subtly giving us all this information, so we realize that the outside world is pretty fucked. And do we want to go out into that fucked world, or do we want to stay here inside our, island, I guess? It's the decision. I'm assuming that the Future Foundation is coming for us to get us out of here. But I'm not super positive. I do think that's what this course is meant to do, though. It's almost like he's trying to show us how bad it is to see if we'll stay. I took the manga from the desk and started flipping through the pages to see what I could learn about the event known as the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. The story made heavy use of outdated stylized drawings depicting characters solving mysteries. What's written here is, as the name suggests, the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy occurred at Hope's Peak Academy. The key player in that event was a student named Izuru Kamukura. Oh, the ultimate spy, right? Or the ultimate despair. Izuru was a genius known as the symbol of hope. Hope's Peak Academy used all the resources to develop him. Supposedly, Izuru was a genius among geniuses and possessed various talents. Okay, wait, I don't know this. I remember, so I thought, you know what? This seems stupid familiar. Izuru Kamakura. But wielding superior talent for the hope of mankind, the Academy referred to Izuru as the ultimate hope. To protect such a rare talent, the Academy completely concealed all evidence of Izuru's origins and identity. Because of that, most of the students at the Academy were completely unaware of Izuru's existence. But Izuru, who is known as the symbol of hope, was responsible for a horrible incident. 13 students of Hope's Peak Academy's student council, among the Academy's best and brightest, were brutally murdered by Izuru. However, this incident did not end there. The Academy tried to protect Izuru's superior talent and conceal the incident as though it never happened. However, a certain student began working in secret to use that incident to their advantage. That student uncovered what the Academy did, and by making that knowledge public, It stoked the fires of the Reserve Corps students who had been long dissatisfied with how they'd been treated. And the uprising began. And that heralded Hope's Peak Academy's destruction. So what you're saying is, you know what? Would it be crazy to assume that Jabberwock Island was the place for the students, the Reserve Course and the main course students? And all these islands were basically the facilities for people to live and grow. And is it possible to assume that is it possible to assume that when he said the most horrible thing that ever happened in human history, did it happen on this island? Because everybody was wearing Monokuma masks in the original game as they were breaking shit. But if you think about it, all the streets, all the statues, all the things they showed are all on this island. On the various 5 islands, but on this island. If we take the fact that number 1 may have been played entirely in this academy building, which makes sense, all the buildings look the same. Nostalgia for nostalgia's sake, or that. Now, is it possible to say that in the same footing that the kids that were on here are actually one of the surviving groups after the fact? I mean, they also said a lot of people died trying to get the main group out of the building. So I wonder if that was during the rebellion, where the Reserve Corps students were just freaking breaking shit everywhere. You know, and Izuru led the charge of that by... Not Izuru, I assume. I guess Izuru is in a totally different field. I don't know, I feel like I'm fielding a random question here. I just think that... Or I guess a random theory. I don't know, I'm just trying to piece together how the two correlate. This is the entirety of the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Eventually, that incident would lead to that horrifying, devastating incident. The incident that would be known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Works cited Danganronpa/0. What? What is this? It's a book. Well, I'm already out of the loop then. There's no game for this? Okay, fuck it. With a heavy sigh, I closed the manga. Am I supposed to believe this? There's no way 13 people were killed at Hope's Peak Academy.
What irony! For a genius known as the Ultimate Hope to cause such a gruesome incident. A talent like that is too regal for society. It's like trying to buy juice with a bar of gold. Oh, you should be lucky that you're incompetent.
Thanks, Monokuma. Damn it, he always has to lead up with something offensive. He seriously pisses me off. But Ultimate Hope. Nagito mentioned that before too, but it looks like that means something completely different here. Yeah, and then you think about Makoto being the ultimate hope for everyone in the first game. It confuses me even further. What Nagito said was the true meaning of hope. But for Izuru, hope simply means talent. More importantly, a genius who possesses various talents. I wish they'd give me one more of those, or give me one of those talents, so I didn't have to be in the reserve department. Then are you saying that Nagito met Izuru at the very beginning of this entire endeavor? Because the way Izuru was talking matches the way they're describing it. Someone who would look down on everyone because he has all the talents. He has no care for anybody. He thinks the world's boring. And that would lead to him to kill people because he doesn't value people the same way because he has all the talent in the world. He is the ultimate quote unquote, or I guess quote, hope unquote. There you go. That's right, the reserve department. Here, it said the reserve department, or the reserve corps students in the reserve department began uprising. Then what about me? Was I a participant too? No, that's not possible. There's no way. I have no reason to do something like that. Alright. Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy has been added to your Truth Bold section. Anyway, I've learned about the tragedy, but the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is a far worse incident, right? What kind of incident was it? And who is this other student that isn't Izuru? A certain student who secretly used the incident to their advantage. Who is that? I would say the ultimate despair would probably be the person who capitalized on the event. This incident is really messed up, but all it's doing is raising more questions. The mysteries just keep piling up. Yep, let's walk on out of here. I'm assuming there's only one more manga. No, this door is yellow. I'm assuming by yellow doors it means a door we have yet to enter and will enter eventually. Because the dojo is first. Yeah, grays seem to be obsolete doors or non-needed. They're like they're non-story progressive. So we're entering the bio lab, if I remember. And then I guess there's one more clue in store for us in the other room. Yep, here's a spooky manga on the floor. What the hell is this room? It's freaking cold in here. It's like I'm in a freezer or something. If I just stand still, I might end up freezing to death. Yeah, I agree. That's kind of a dark way to look at it, but I should hurry up and investigate so I can get out of here already. I see you in there, motherfucking Kuma. Oh man, now I'm curious.
I've been found.
Yeah, no worries, buddy. I mean, there's only so many places you guys can freaking hide. It means I should probably check all the other rooms again. I'll do it after this book. Hopefully it doesn't advance the story. But there's another manga just laying around here. This time the title is Manga for Morons, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. I knew it. The next one would be obviously about this incident. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, huh? Just what is that incident really all about? It might turn out to be something lame. I flipped through the pages of the manga and hoped that I was right. Isn't that the Rising? The Uprising? A story about a creepily drawn character. Oh, yeah, okay. I read it right. I just didn't believe in myself. See, guys, you gotta believe in yourself when you read something. A story about creepily drawn characters who get involved in such horrifying incidents. An incident known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Is this drawn so grotesquely because the incident itself is that grotesque? Anyway, the beginning of this creepy manga starts with the sentence. The tragedy of Hope Peak Academy was simply the trigger. At first, the uprising by the Reserve Corps students was triggered the tragedy of Hope Peak Academy. Was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading all over the internet, fostering a thriving online community. The community was not limited to students, and people of various races and nations began joining in. But the movement was not confined to the internet, and it began spreading and eroding into the real world. So this is where Monokuma basically says, oh fuck, like, oh, hey, first group of students from Hope Peak Academy, this is what's going on in the outside world. Do you really want to go out there? And it's the photos of people killing themselves and breaking shit and anarchy. When the movement started, it was distinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. But as it spread across the world, the certain abnormalities came to light. By then it was too late. The ends and means had vanished, and the wanton destruction became their only goal. The strong butchered the weak. The weak killed the weakest among them, and soon the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear, as if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times, when senseless deaths were the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point where people would watch them while enjoying a meal. By the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened. A feeling of immense despair began spreading and eventually engulfed the world. Acts of terrorism and coup d'etats began occurring around the world. A war waged in the name of despair. A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain. Just war. Pure war. And because of that, there was no way to resolve it. How could a movement started by high school students progress to a hopeless scenario? The only explanation is the existence of a certain organization. devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope's Peak Academy, a group called Ultimate Despair. Instead of using Hope's Peak Academy's talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they used them for the sake of mankind's despair. Key members of society used their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programmers wrote software to spread despair. The powerful and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. And with this, they created the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. As long as ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. The tragedy will never end. Huh. My heart was racing in my chest, but my body felt ice cold. And it wasn't because I was freezing in this room. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. This is definitely all made up. I mean, if this is really true, then what's happening in the outside world? My family, my friends, the convenience store I frequent, the nearby bookstore, my favorite restaurant. What happened to them?
No way!
Are you seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you?
Who would enjoy reading something like this?
What?
Oh my, you don't like manga? A high school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't like to eat candy.
Enough. What is this messed up manga?
I thought you'd obviously know about such an horrible event that destroyed the world, but for you not to remember that, such despair.
That's the
Future Foundation's fault, though, thanks to them stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during that period has been completely removed from your brains.
This incident really happened, and I actually forgot about it? There's no way that's possible.
What are you saying?
How many times I have to tell you? All the clues here are real.
Hello.
Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer for it. I just want to help you guys so you can live a well-adjusted life in the outside world.
I see. So that's how it is. That's what he meant by what he said at the beginning.
Well, as the headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know. On one hand, I'm really happy that you're finally going to graduate. But on the other, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world. That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here.
He's trying to make us feel despair towards the outside world, so we'll want to stay on this island. But there's no way I'm going to do what he wants. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope. Just like now. Perhaps? No, that's definitely it. Alright, Hajime. That's some strong hope you got in there, man. Whether or not this incident really happened, what in the world is this ultimate despair group? If they're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope's Peak Academy to its destruction, are they connected to both the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? They're probably one and the same. Plus, that organization isn't just one person, but a group of people. But if they're known as Ultimate Despair, they're high school students, right? I think they were and some aren't. I think it's like a combination of people. Well, if they're actually able to do it, then I guess that's why they're called Ultimates. Then, are the killings we're involved in connected to them as well? It's no use. I'm going to freeze to death. I'm at my limit. I need to get out of here. Shivering, I ran out of the freezing room. Alright, so I think we have one more clue left to find. Oh, phew, that was close. I nearly froze to death. So where should I go next? Yeah, there should be one more door. Alright, let's enter the last room and see what's inside. And then after that, it'll be the episode for today. Where is this last manga? Oh, no, it's here. Oh, he's just in here. Okay. No, I should ignore it. I'm just going to pretend I don't see him. Hey, Fuyuhiko.
Jeez.
When I went inside this room, that bastard bear was suddenly here. He keeps glancing at me. I wonder why. Heh, it's gonna be shitty either way.
Damn right.
So I'll let you handle it. There's no way I'm gonna go deal with that idiot. I don't wanna do that either. Alright, well.
Hiya!
Why, hello, Hajime. I hope you're doing pleasingly well. Are you pleasingly well? You're pleasingly well, right?
What are you doing here?
No!
Well, there's another thing I needed to tell you about this floor. Teehee, I got bored of drawing manga. Could you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth?
You should have done that from the beginning. I didn't want to read your manga in the first place.
A high school student who doesn't like to read manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating hot pots.
I'm getting really fed up with your babbling. Hurry up. What did you need to tell me?
It's about that key piece of information you've been wanting so long for.
What?
Surprise! It's about ultimate despair.
See, but I would have loved to seen a last book for this, so it kind of sucks that you blotched it up. Okay?
Even though the term ultimate despair refers to a group these days,
Actually,
it was originally the title for a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, and feared person alive.
A high school girl. I do remember Ultimate Despair.
yes indeed.
Lady Junko Enoshima.
Junko Enoshima.
Hey,
As the former Ultimate Despair, she created a despair brimming with charm and humor, and created the Ultimate Despairs. There was one really horrible person in that group.
Don't fuck with me.
Hold on a sec. I don't know what the Ultimate Despairs are, but it's not that easy to form an organization. There's no way people would join some fucked up organization created by a high school girl.
unbelievable.
Humans who are obsessed with their philosophy have an uncanny power to attract others. It's a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout the history, right? There's nothing strange about it.
Hey,
That holds true for Lady Junko. With her charismatic ability to attract people, she even influenced those in the highest echelons of power. Her connections were the main reason that incident became the tragedy in the first place.
So she even recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat?
Huh?
Then what was their purpose?
huh?
What? Like I said, why did they cause that incident? It doesn't even make sense. They had purposes, right? Oh, they had a purpose, right? There's no way they'd do what they did without any purpose.
Hey,
It was Junko Enoshima's despair.
Huh?
For Junko Enoshima, despair isn't about purpose, a set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko Enoshima as Junko Enoshima.
What are you saying?
I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime is a human. It's exactly like that. Junko Enoshima is full of so much despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving, for her, everything is despair.
What the hell?
With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the ultimate despairs one by one. She controlled their despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. That idea had been slammed right into their minds. And so the ultimate despairs who had been recruited became nothing more than Junko's limbs. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, was decided by or was dedicated to Junko Enoshima. Like believers making offerings to their god, like a mother providing food to her children. They dedicated all despair so they could escape from despair, all in Junko Enoshima's name. For example, they killed their families and friends, and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation.
Oh my god.
And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed it was something that they had to do.
There's no way that something this crazy is possible.
What?
Do you know about the final days of the reserve corps students during the tragedy of the Hope's Peak Academy?
The final days.
In other words,
Junko has the power to change people's values. This is also true of famous people throughout history.
What do you mean, final dates? What happened to the reserve department?
of course.
They filled their role as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to do. And so, 2,357 students in the reserve department all committed mass suicide.
Mass suicide? What the? What? What? Okay. Alright, this is... Okay, this is getting freaking ridiculous. What? Excuse me, mass suicide? This is ridiculous.
What'd you say?
All 2,357 students.
Oops, it wasn't all of them. One person was excluded.
One person was excluded. Yes, you, Hajime. Is that me?
Damn it!
I don't believe it. There's no way I can believe this. Ultimate Despair, Junko Enoshima? It didn't scare me at all, I mean.
Bastard!
Junko Enoshima's already dead. Huh? How do you know she's dead? Well, that's crazy. Wait, yeah, how do you know she's dead? Hey, Fuyuhiko, is it true what you said? Junko Enoshima's really dead?
Huh?
What? You didn't see? There was a book called Manga for Morons, Killing School Life, in that bloody classroom. A bloody classroom? No, wait. Was that what you said about the Killing School Life? Oh, so the doors that were blocked weren't for me to go into. Right. Like the killings we were involved in, they were killings that happened at Hope's Peak Academy. As I recall, the mastermind who took her own life because the remaining students worked together to defeat her.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. The Killing School Life ended up failing in the end. As a result, the 6 students who survived managed to escape from the academy.
Hey,
For a manga about a Killing School Life, it was drawn with a lot of silly images and dumb gags. According to that, the mastermind behind the failed Killing School Life was Junko Enoshima. The mastermind took her own life, which means Junko Enoshima's dead.
like,
It turns out the Killing School Life was part of that whole biggest, most awful whatever incident. Junko took away the memories of the former students of Hope's Peak Academy and forced them to kill each other. Former students of Hope's Peak Academy. And she took away their memories? That's just like us. Apparently, the whole thing was filmed by surveillance cameras and broadcast worldwide. There's a limit to being a cruel asshole. The surveillance cameras were broadcasting the whole thing?
so.
The students of Hope's Peak Academy were widely known as symbols of hope. By forcing people to watch these symbols of hope kill each other for the sake of survival, they were trying to fill everyone who watched the broadcast with despair all at once. That's messed up. But that messed up plan was stopped. Junko Enoshima failed. Junko lost to the students she placed in a trap, and after being overcome by despair she created, she took her own life. Then Junko's in no more? No matter how horrible she was, there's no reason to fear someone who's dead. Whether Monokuma's story is true or not doesn't matter.
Bastard!
Junko Enoshima isn't alive anymore. Then, who's her enemy? If Junko Enoshima's already dead and the rest of the Ultimate Despair is behind this... Oh, are the rest of them behind this? Are the followers of Junko carrying out her will? That's the only thing I could think of. I mean, the killings we're involved in resemble that Killing School Life. Well, I don't know who the hell is imitating Junko and making us go through this, but an imitation is just that, an imitation.
No shit!
If the students from Hope's Peak Academy stopped the real deal, there's no way we'd lose to some fake. But if this is really an imitation, are those surveillance cameras the same too? There were surveillance cameras everywhere. The cameras all over Jabberwock Island. Are they broadcasting to somewhere, just like the surveillance cameras during the Killing School Life? Huh. Yes, we know that she's dead.
Man, Hajime, you totally know about that story, huh?
What, do you have a problem with that?
Well, I really wanted you to read the manga version since I took the time to draw it.
What are you gonna
Oh
do?
well, I'll just raise the flag.
Flag? What do you mean raise the flag? What's gonna happen if you do that?
Ooh, how exciting.
One step at a time. You're getting closer to clearing my character route.
You're not making sense again.
Well now.
Now then, I'll give you guys my all. I'll tell you guys everything I know, including information on the outside and the inside. I'll raise them flags like crazy.
Okay. And on that note, I'm going to call this episode here. I'm assuming we have to talk to Monokuma to get the rest of the information we so require. But besides that, we've learned enough. We got a bit of the lore to catch us up, I guess, on to what's happening to the school, what happened to the reserve department, the confirmation that Yunko is dead. I'm not sure who's doing it this time, though. I would assume it's the followers, and that what we have to do now is it's fighting who's left, and completely and faithfully believed in Yunko until she died. I'm assuming. I'm kind of excited to see where this goes. This chapter's kind of cool to go back to the old school building, you know, and use that as its final boss. I guess its final level. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And I'm sorry I'm sick. Or I guess I may be nasally. Winter is fun and it makes me sick all the time. So I have runny noses all the time. But anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this. And I'll see you guys in whatever I make next. And as always, it's Tofuru, signing out.